Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday on Your View on TVC. I am Tokwe Mark Odige, and I'm excited to be here with the ladies. Nima Akashat, how you doing?
Grateful to God. Very grateful to God.
What's singing? How you doing? I'm grateful to God.
I'm grateful to God. I don't have a singing voice. I don't dare sing in public. I don't try it.
But you just sang earlier.
Well, everybody was chorusing,
nice.
so I can jump in and pretend that it's my voice that was loud. But I'm just grateful to God. I, this morning again, experienced road robbery. So a little traffic starts and I'm in the middle of trucks. I am apprehensive of what might happen. I get anxious because of what I've experienced in the past. And this morning again, somebody knocked on my glass, threatening to do more harm because I'm not giving him enough money. I'm emptying my purse, emptying my car and saying, this is all I have. Please just go. And, you know, they keep giving themselves signs. So everybody passing by the door. At that time, I was at Mile 2, Maza at 6:15 this morning when this happened. So there's no security on the Badagry Expressway that early. And I think I just want to plead with the RRS, the task force, the special units that used to ease these issues, to be on the patrol again, you know. I know it's one evil, it's a matter of lesser evil, but I'd rather someone in uniform than some tout that would, you know, could actually stab me like a threatened. I don't want that to happen. Really, so I'm grateful to God. I'll get myself in a bit. Thanks.
How are you doing, man?
I'm
Hope
fine.
you have some good news.
Well,
because Nima's area, I think that there needs to be a lot more attention paid to that area. And I'm happy that, I'm not happy you're going through it, but I'm happy that people in that community have someone who can speak to the challenges you're facing. And hope they hear and work on it.
I sure hope they do.
Yeah, I do hope so. For me, it's just, you know, I'm just grateful to God. Nothing really to say today. When I came in today and Nima was looking really sad, you know, and we know how she's very playful and mischievous and just disturbing the peace. But, and this is Nima that has a platform that can speak, but many people constantly are going through one thing or the other. You know, sometimes I even feel bad for the government. I'm like, the government must be so overwhelmed with all the things that are happening. So the thing is on us, the onus is on us to just do better. We can do better. We cannot constantly keep saying poverty is...
I like that.
Yeah.
We'll point one hand to the government and then we point the second to the Agberus. Because these people, the Agberus, know them more than the government know them.
Yes.
So the Agberus can say, please be kind to your... These people are your neighbors. They are experiencing the challenges of Nigeria that you are also experiencing. Exactly. And the fact that they are in a car does not mean that their life is better off. So don't harass them to make yourself compensate for your challenges as well, because you're making their life difficult.
But they are on drugs. These are, from my
they're not
experience,
rational,
they are not rational people. So sometimes I dare. If the traffic moves, I move. I do a lot of stunts and I get away with it sometimes.
That's not life.
This morning, that's not life.
Yes.
This morning, I just wasn't moving. In that place, in that position, I spent 10 minutes. And in 10 seconds, anything could have happened. Yeah. So I just simply paid. You know, and it's not healthy. It's either your phone, your bag, or something else. So I feel
that, you know, 2 days ago I went online and I ranted because I had a conversation with someone who had been, the person's goal that I was coaching the person on investment, and her target was I'll get 500,000 naira, you know, so that I can buy $1,000. And she finally hit the target. Guess what? Her 500,000 naira that she suffered to hit. Could not give her $1,000. So I just felt like it's not a, when we speak against bad governance, it's not to attack any individual, because you can be a millionaire in Naira, but you are a poor person when you convert it to another currency. So it doesn't matter whether you're a billionaire in Nigeria, you are a poor person over there because of the currency is watered down daily into paper. So we need to do a lot more. And our government needs to understand that we are watching and we're paying attention and we're going to hold them accountable for how they are managing or mismanaging our resources. On that note, we'll be going on a break. When we return, we'll go through the papers. And I hope we have more cheerful stories in the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back to the show. We'll be starting off the front page review with The Nation major headline. Bid to force out secondus as the National Working Committee splits PDP governors. Party ESCO tells 7 officers who resign to go immediately, youth leaders, others knock chairman. And in other news, how we get forex by BDCs. CBN supply ban won't affect us. Members ask court to sack Buni-led caretaker, that's from the APC. My ordeal in Ondo kidnappers den, pupil relieves experience. Police confirm 17 dead, 85 houses razed in Plateau clash. MTN's universal service request delays license renewal. UAE lifts suspension on flights from Nigeria. And microblogging platform Cool 6 NBC license. FUTA students protest colleagues' death, and you cannot miss the picture of the all-progressive APC stalwarts Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu hosting Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu in London, United Kingdom yesterday. That picture went viral online with all comments coming from it. But let's take how forex.
Okay. Yes, I wanted to take that story. So the BDCs responded.
Took my story. But go ahead.
Maybe, yeah. So, you know, the CBN governor was saying that, you know, daily they sell about $20,000, about 5,500 BDCs. And the BDCs are saying, even with all the, you will not send us dollars, we don't source dollars from the CBN. It's not sufficient. But they said, interestingly, that they source dollars from Nigerians traveling abroad. They source their dollars from working customers, all company workers, professionals, those who have ESTA codes, those who have dollars that they don't want to, you know, change. And, you know, these are unconventional ways that could also amount to money laundering. So I think the CBN should holistically
look at it. It's not about banning.
It's not about banning.
This not supplying them does not stop them from doing business.
If I get my dollars from sources that I just simply mop it into the system.
Yes.
You know,
and it goes through.
And it goes through. You know, nobody sees it. So let people do things. Let's find ways to encourage people to leave their dollars in domiciliary accounts and encourage those who have it there to feel confident that this is the best way and that there's more available.
Let's strengthen the institutions.
Legitimate means.
Plateau State. Yes, I've been taking this story. It's been going on for a few days now. Now, this is from the police confirming the attacks that happened July 31st and August 1st. And the numbers, it says the attacks happened in Bassa and Riyom local government areas. About 17 people were killed. 85 houses were razed. He was saying this after the emergency security meeting that had been called by the state governor. And he says the state governor has given them 2 weeks to bring the perpetrators to book, and also has asked that all security operatives be stationed in those vulnerable areas. So the governor is on it, and this is really sad. I mean, yeah, we'll pray for peace and calm. Thank you.
We're following the UAE story. For the past 7 months, they've stopped scheduled flights from Nigeria and about 10 other countries, mainly because they found out that some of those countries were coming in, especially for Nigeria. Nigerians were going to the UAE with fake COVID-19 test.
Wow.
So that was why they imposed more restrictions, and the number of tests that needs to be done just few hours by their own certified laboratory, as opposed to the NCDC, which caused a friction between our countries. And for the past 7 months, we've been trying to diplomatically resolve it, but it seems there's a solution. This happened like a month ago, and in 24 hours it went back. So I'm not sure about my excitement, but I know many people have reached out to me from the UAE about how this has affected their lives, and how many people are stranded in Nigeria, and now others are stranded in UAE. They can't come back home because they are scared that their work schedule will be affected in UAE. So let's pray for peace. Now it's 72 hours before your flight that your test is valid, and we see how that goes. Moving on to the Punch major headline. APC plans Buni Oyetola Bello's removal from caretaker team. Eyes interim ESCO. And in other news, protesting FUTA students barricade highway, blame gatemen for colleagues' deaths. Planned creation of 19 LCDA follows wide consultation. That's from Ekiti State. Buhari, Lawan, Tinubu, others mourn Abiodun's father. Court hears Igboho's 5 billion naira suit against Malami DSS today. I saw woman beheaded son where kidnappers kept me. That's the 14-year-old boy that escaped Ogo berates Adebutu over alleged diversion of 64 billion naira local government allocation. 7 feared dead as Okada riders clash over levy in Ogun State. November will test the Papa Trucks call-up system. That's from the truckers. Federal government directs NSIA to source Mambila $200 million judgment debts from Chinese firm. U.S. vaccine lifeline. Federal government's state workout sharing formula. Lagos gets priority. Kyari appears before panel. Mount defense against us puppies allegation. And you can't miss the picture, obviously, the footer story.
Yes,
what happened, really sad. Can we have the details of that?
A very sad story happened. 5 students of footer were involved in a car accident, and the students, because one of them died, the students protested. According to the national president of the Ondo State Student Association, Mr. Ayoade Kikewe, said that the student died, the 200-level student, Daniel Adeyinka, died due to the management, to the negligence of the footer management. That's his account. But the head of media and protocol of the school said, gave his own account of what happened. He said these 5 students had an accident and were rushed to a private hospital. They were stabilized, 3 were doing well. Then 1 was referred to the Owo General Hospital, but he couldn't be taken there at the time of the referral. So they had to find a place to have him stabilized. Because he was a student, they wanted to come into school to have the boy stabilized. At the time when they were at the private hospital, family members had been called, relatives and everybody had been called, so they were with their student ward at the time. So they came in a car with the students who died and came to school. The doctors came out from the health center within school and tried to stabilize the boy in the car, but they found no pulse at all. At the time he came in, the doctor just said, no, this boy was brought in dead. And you saw, before you knew it, a riot had started, students started to protest around 3:40 a.m. and a lot of issues started to happen within school. I think as much as, we grieve, there has to be rationality. Yeah. These students had a car accident not due to the footer management, but stabilizing them after anything could have happened. Some would walk, some would not, God heals, doctors try. God heals,
Another human interest story. So a 14-year-old boy, Felix Adekunle, Monday, while he was hawking slippers after school, was abducted. He said that these people in a Camry, tinted, and he didn't have plate number, motioned to him and said to him one of his wares had fallen, and he turned to look, and before he knew it, they had grabbed him, put him in the car, and he fell unconscious the moment he got into the car. He says when his eyes were finally opened, he was in a secluded place. There was a woman beside him, her arms tied behind her, and a body that had been beheaded. And he asked the woman, she said that was her son that had been beheaded.
Oh my God.
She asked him to help her untie her, so he untied her, and they got out of there running, but she fell. She says she called him back, gave him 500 naira and told him to just keep running. So that's how he was able to escape. He said when he finally got to where people were, they called the police. There was no response from the police, but they called the Amotekun call, and immediately they got there. The mother had said that she just thought he had lost his wares and was running away from home until Amotekun called her, and well, thankfully, that's how it ended.
I hope that somebody is taking time to discuss psychological treatments and therapy for survivors of kidnapping. This is a young boy who's gone through a terrible experience that can taint him for life. We'll continue the front page review after this short break. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bali, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy Eastplash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communication story.
Thanks for staying with us. We'll be moving on to Daily Trust, starting with major headline. Third wave, NYSC camp on red alert as 104 test positive for COVID-19. Short camp to check spread. Experts urge federal government. Heavy rainfall. Kano residents lament as flood destroys property. Uncertainty as UAE lifts flight ban on Nigeria 5 months after. Wife pours hot water on husband over forced marriage. Fresh crisis hits PDP as 7 National Working Committee members resign. APC chieftain ask court to nullify Congress's disband Boni committee. Buhari deploys 9 permanent secretaries. Gastroenteritis kills 23 in Sokoto. So major headline, what's happening in the camps?
At the camps, we know that the core members, Batch B, have just been called to camp. And one of the processes is that when they get to camp, they are tested before they are allowed into camp. And during the time for testing, they said, let me check the numbers, and about 109 core members have tested positive for COVID. And they went through the different states. There's about 17 core members in Edo State who tested positive, 26 in Plateau, 25 in Gombe, 14 just across, 6 in Ogun, 21 in Taraba. There were no cases in Bayelsa and Lagos as of the time of the report. But this is before they join others inside the premises of the camp. So what has happened is that they will take these ones to the isolation center and watch them and everything. But this is also coming, you know, at the back of federal government talking about just this widespread of the Delta variant and all over the states. It says just within the 2 days in August, the cases have risen to 851, and in those 2 days, 11 have died. So we really need to be careful. It's not gone, people.
I just want to commend the NYSC for making it work under a pandemic. You know, the suggestion would have been just shut the camps. But if you insist on having camps, do the right thing, and that's what
they're doing. Okay, there's this. I really need to take this story of something that happened in a housewife, Aisha Jibrin, 17-year-old girl, poured hot water on her husband, Abdullahi, injured many parts of his body. The couple got married recently, and the complaints, she's been complaining she didn't want to marry the man. She said she didn't like the man. This is a 17-year-old girl, and she said that they've had crises all through the marriage, and she's not being well taken care of. She's not being well fed, and this was like her own way out. The State Police Command spokesperson confirmed the incidents to newsmen. So I think this happens a whole lot.
This happened in Kano. It happened in Kano. She's 17. So I think the parents should take responsibility.
Yes.
You know, psychologically, when children fight, they fight. So if she's mature enough to have a marriage, should make it work.
According to the law, she's still a minor.
She's a minor. She's 17, but many of them are already getting married at 17, and she was unhappy, and she made it clear. So
and then
now she's going to
she didn't have a consent. So 3 things is in fact.
Exactly.
You didn't have a consent, even if she was, you know.
Old enough. Moving on to the Vanguard, major headline, 2023. Are we not in 2021 again?
Yeah.
Elections.
Fresh troubles in PDP as crisis fester in APC. Moving on to patients suffers as doctors strike takes toll on hospital services. That's going to be our hot topic, so we'll skip that. With Obasanjo, Oshibajo's years as vice president, Southwest lack moral right for 2023 presidency. That's from Ohaneze. Olu beheadings. Imo government tighten security. Youths barricade community. Oshodia Papa Expressway gridlock returns after weeks of respite. And the story we need to celebrate. Brume, Ese Brume, on the left, that's the picture story celebrating after winning bronze. And we must celebrate Blessing Oboro Dudu, who won silver, respectively. So the 2 medals Nigerians have gotten from the Olympics have been from women. So please, just let's clap for long jump. Yes.
She won for long jump. And she only missed on technicalities because I've been following the Olympics. This is what to watch. This is one I love to watch. Then Blessing Oboro Dudu, wrestling.
Yes, I watched that.
And in fact, that final match, it pained me small the way the person representing the USA that beat her to the gold was even a Ghanaian. I think just small technique, but these are amazing athletes representing us. If only
we would have gotten more medals if we had more people, more Nigerians contesting.
In those days, when we were little kids, we just used to hear Nigeria, Nigeria, and they play our national anthem. I just used to feel so proud. But, you know, I made my children watch till 10 yesterday, hoping that they get the same feeling.
I mean, that wrestling looked really hard, and that US athlete looked really strong.
She
so they did well.
The story of Olu, I have the Olu story. So following the constant beheading, it looked like a pattern in Olu. The youth barricaded the community and decided to take their security into their own hands. But the government now responded. The Commissioner for Information responded on behalf of government, saying now they are doing more to beef up security. We also have this article saying that the elders, the chief traditional rulers of that community are also in meeting across the state to see how much they can do to help beef up security. But there's an account in the article that says that this is between supporters and those against the Biafra nation, that this was them attacking each other in that pattern, trying to reclaim that community for themselves.
All right, moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Major headline, PDP governors weighed at 7. 2023 fights happening in 2021. Let's move on to other stories we haven't taken. FIRS awards 5.2 billion naira non-security souvenir contracts in 7 months. IPOP asks U.S. court to block delivery of more Tucano aircrafts to Nigeria. More knocks for Jega for rubbishing PDP and APC. Scores of Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists killed as the Nigerian Air Force jets ground camps in Borno. Pastor shot dead during service as cult members killed 6 in Lagos in 1 week. APC crisis. Court asked to nullify World Congress. Let's leave this political problem. And 7 feared killed in Hausa, Yoruba, Okada riders clash in Ogun community. For the 3 core members, the experts team, we're taking that story. UAE Lift Bands, we're taking that story. National Assembly oppose e-transmission of election results. Tantamount to a coup. That's from Wike. Amongst all the story, which are we starting with?
FIRS.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, no vex. So, the Tribune have documents that shows that between the period of January to July 2021, 505 billion naira have been awarded by the FIRS for procurement of surveillance and non-security documents. According to them, wait, I'm coming to read you what surveillance means. It said the document showed, for instance, that on March 18, 2021, 39 different vouchers totaling 311 million were raised for the procurement of items like jotters, customized pen, T-shirts, umbrella, mugs, hats, executive organizers, and power banks, and these were awarded out. Similarly, they have 32 different vouchers raised on May 2021 and 26 vouchers raised, while on June 9, 2021, 30 vouchers were raised for the procurement of the same items as above, worth hundreds of millions of naira, total of everything. Now, the people against them who are presently in court at the National Civil Service Union, they're currently in court with at the National Industrial Court over issues of staff welfare. So internally, there are issues, and we know that these are not matters to just to be, according to the spokesperson for the FIRS boss, that's the Communication and Liaison Officer, the FIRS Director of Communication and Liaison, Abdullahi Ismail, I just said that these are not really true allegations. That's all he had to say, nothing to buttress whether they were doing things rightly. And according to the Tribune article, they did this in ways that would cover
because it's in small batches, 39 approval. That means they are approving less than 10 million naira.
They are doing it in batches so that it won't less than escape. Exactly. So federal procurement rules were done in a way that the regulations will be escaped. I think this should be seriously investigated.
Yes, I think the EFCC does not need any approval to look into this.
If the former FIRS boss was removed and handled in such in that way for some reasons around this one should be treated seriously.
Yet these are allegations, so we are wait until the confirmation or there's a rule. The rule goes
whoever is in charge should just
so for now it's an allegation.
We are finding 5.
I have a story. I have a couple of stories here.
Please.
So they say in the last 1 week in the Mile 12 area here in Lagos, 6 people have been killed, and one of them happened on Sunday. An assistant pastor was shot dead in church during service. He was coordinating mothers and children for dedication. These people walked into the church, and some say they had a picture of this particular pastor, went straight to him, tried to drag him out. He insisted that if they had to kill him, they should kill him in church, and so he was killed right in front of the congregants who were rushing outside. And this is a pastor of the RCCG in Maidon, King of Kings Parish. I have another story, which is the Nigerian Air Force, and they said ground troops were able to kill scores of Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists due to the airstrikes. So while they were attacking them from the air, ground soldiers were attacking them on ground. 4 of their trucks were
and our last paper for today
that
we can't take. So we have one good news, one bad news. We're hoping there's investigation into what is happening in Mile 12 area of Lagos State. Proper investigation to find out if it is murder or it is just cult clashes going on. Daily Sun, major headline, why APC PDP crisis worsen. One of the stories we haven't taken, Yabatek plan 50 billion endowments to improve facility. That's good news.
And another good news.
Another good news is Ugwai offers scholarship to young inventor of aircraft. MP3 radio set approves 150 million for technical education.
Yes, so Enugu State governor has offered scholarships to Emmanuel Madu Abuchi and Chukwuebuka Odoye. Emmanuel was given ₦1 million, Chukwuebuka was given 500,000, and they'll get scholarships up to university level. They had manufactured 2 aircraft, 1 helicopter and 1 fighter jet, and the other invented an MP3 radio set. So fantastic news. Well done, guys.
Well, that's really, really amazing.
But I wish it was more than this. I wish that they have an endowment created to support invention so that we have.
And when we're looking for youth ambassadors for states,
exactly.
These are the sort of people
we should do more to encourage.
Not
1,500,000.
Please, let me just warn all the governors. Don't try yourself. There's BBN Niger going on right now. None of them should become youth ambassadors. We need more role models, and we cannot find politicians making these kind of mistakes. On that note, we'll take a break. When we return, hot topics, several of them starts. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup check. Are the scripts on the prompter? Script check. Are we set in the VCR? All team in place? VCR check. Clock is ticking, time is racing, lights up. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready for the mission.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get an in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it.
kádàrá aláwọ̀ àkàkàjù. àwọn kan wà tí wọ́n bá kú tọ́jọ́ kú wọn ò tí ì pé wọ́n á papòdà síbòmíì.
Is that how you gonna say it?
ọdún wa sọ nìyẹn.
bó ṣe wá kọ̀wé ránṣẹ́ yìí pé òun fẹ́ rí mi kájọ fojúkojú yìí kò yé èmi o.
bó ṣe pé ẹ̀rí ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ àyà mi ti sọ kí.
torí kí ni.
àkọ́yẹ́ kọ́ mọ bí jẹ́rẹ̀ ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ yọmọ mú yẹn rí flashback jọ́ ẹ̀ kí ọmọ tó mọ ẹgbọ́n mọ́.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup check. Are the scripts on the prompter? Script check. Are we set in the VCR? All team in place? VCR
check. Clock is ticking, time is racing, lights up. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready for the mission.
But really, how is that my fault now? You're playing game and I'm playing along with you.
You have
a very bad timing. Oh, when to bring and when not to bring it. Oh, but salary it here. What you want demand the one your way? What kind of husband does that?
Hello, my dear. Me.
Thanks for staying with us. There was a video that went viral that depicted major bullying in a way that is worrisome in a secondary school in Edo State, and we'll be discussing that with the Right Honorable Osaro Osadebare Roland, who is currently the House, is the chairman House Committee on Education, and is from Edo State, and we want him to give us his perspective. Currently, we know that the Edo State government doesn't have any cabinet in place. We ought to be speaking with the Commissioner for Education in Edo State, but since there's no cabinet, we're talking to the chairman House Committee on Education in Edo State. Sir, have you also seen the video that we are referring to? Do we have the video now? Let's play it. Okay.
Wait, come on, bring her, come on. And he got a beat for this. Come on.
This is a peer-to-peer bullying that there's no justification for it, and we just want to have an idea. If you've seen this video, sir, what was your first reaction, and what's the general line of action that should take place concerning this kind of occurrence in a school?
First, as a person, I felt very disturbed when I saw the video, and the Edo State government feel very bad and were disappointed in the arts. Yep. And as a government, as a responsive government, I think the governor instructed set up a panel to immediately investigate the matter, and the state secretary to the government was to chair that panel. And immediately, yesterday, all the persons involved, the parents of the victims, the parents of the accused, the principal, and all stakeholders were invited for a meeting. Okay. And the meeting, as a way of checking such thing from reoccurrence, the principal of the school and the house master of that Kenzua Hall was immediately suspended, and a query was issued to them to answer. And the accused were asked, they were sent to the police station, the juvenile court, to investigate and come out with their finding. I think the government is very disturbed about it, and they are doing everything within their powers to ensure that such acts does not repeat itself in future.
Yeah. As of now, do we know exactly why those boys were carrying such an action against their fellow students?
Yeah, that is what I said. I said there's already, the matter is already before the law enforcement agents to investigate, because what they told us, the investigation has not been completed, so it will not be right for me to. So they've all given their own side of the story. Okay. Some of the students said that there was a fight before then, it was a reprisal attack, but for a system like that, I think that is wrong, because they have house masters, they have other authorities that ought to wade into the issue before it gets to that stage. But because some persons, first of all, they were suspended, so that a thorough investigation will be carried out, and by the time we are through with the investigation, the law will take its course and nobody will be spared.
Okay, Sanima has a question for you.
My immediate concern are the victims, the two young men beaten. Because what we saw in that video was what happened outside.
Yeah.
We don't know how far, it was inside. Yes, sir.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the victims were taken to the hospital and the doctors were asked to examine them and see if there's any injury and all of that. I think that is also being taken care of. They are already in the hospital and they are being cared for already.
Sir, cultism...
Both psychologists and all.
Cultism in secondary schools are becoming a thing of concern across the country now. Yes. Are you surprised that this happened, or do you have some suspicion that this could be cultism? And is there anything the government of Edo State are doing to deliberately discourage, this, aside punishing the administrators of the school?
Yeah, from the investigation we have carried out from the panel, the issue of cultism is ruled out. It is not an issue of cultism because the issue of cultism, there are laws, there are Edo State laws that prohibit cultism. We don't tolerate that at all. And we have Chief Inspector of Education that have a duty to ensure that every now and then they goes to school to ensure that such things is not being perpetrated in schools. So as for now, I don't think the issue that is on now has nothing to do with cultism. I think all the students, from what we're told, like I said, the investigation is still going on. They are all SS3 students that are writing the exam. So that is it. But the issue of cultism is not what's been established yet.
I'll have to ask you this question because we don't have a commissioner, in Edo State to ask this question. Would you be... Okay, so these are students. Should they have a phone in secondary school? Who is recording the video? And because obviously someone had a phone and somebody was deliberately recording that attack that took place. And I feel that the the entire circle should be covered in the investigation. Do you have any information about whether it's was an adult that was recording that, or it was one of the students who had a phone in school that was recording it?
Yeah, first of all, as a boarding school, they are not allowed to come with phone into the school. Yeah. That is not allowed. So, but for the fact that the scene was recorded, that presupposes that somebody had a phone. And that is also negligence on the part of the administrators of that place. Yeah. And that is why, though investigation is going on, we are going to ascertain what led to that and who brought the phone and all of that. But they have a duty to ensure that the rules and regulations governing that school is being implemented. And when they fail to do that, these are the outcomes. And that is why, first of all, we have to put them on hold until investigation is properly conducted and come out with our findings before the necessary action will be taking place.
Okay, I like the fact that, the housemasters were involved in, they were asked to be suspended and investigated as well, because sometimes we just tend to focus on just the children and we don't focus on those who should have the authority to enforce laws. So for me, I think that way, that the Edo State government has started to do this right. But, as my colleague said, going forward, because bullying is something that we're seeing more and more of across schools. So it may not be cultism, it's just that culture of you can hit someone and it's a good thing to hit. Power. What are we doing education-wise, curriculum-wise, to start to introduce to children a better way of handling conflict?
You see, first, there must be enabling laws before you ask the people to obey rules and regulations. Edo State House of Assembly is one of the first states that passed the VAB Act law, prohibiting violence against persons. So that law has been put in place. We are among the very first set of states that passed that law. The law is there prohibiting violence. So in addition to that, I think the Ministry of Education, the local education secretaries in primary, we have Chief Inspector of Education in secondary school. Their duty is to have a routine visit of school to ensure that all these vices, all these acts are not being carried out in schools. I think that angle is being straightened again to ensure proper monitoring.
Let me just quickly cut in with this question, sir.
And the house must...
Please, sir, based on this comment you just made, do you believe that the lack of a commissioner of education could have impacted on the follow-through and follow-up and general oversight that should take place effectively within the Ministry of Education, within the state of Edo?
I don't think so, because apart from commissioner, we have permanent secretary, Ministry of Education. We have chief inspector of education, and we have other education personnel that are saddled with the responsibility of ensuring the rule of law in schools. So commissioner is just a person. And outside the commissioner, we have permanent secretary who is in charge of the ministry as it is now. And they are all carrying out their function. This thing is just there's just one thing that happened that really...
Nima wants to quickly throw in a question, sir.
So, sir, my appeal is that you don't rule out cultism. The style of this abuse was in a group. This depicts cultism easily from anybody who has experience. So please investigate.
From the investigation we have carried out, like I said before, immediately this thing happened, the governor instituted a high-power panel to investigate immediately. And the state secretary to the government was asked to chair that panel. It's a very high panel. So from the initial investigation we have carried out, that is why I said cultism is ruled out. All these children involved, both the victim and the accused, they are all SS3 students writing exams. Certain things happened, and what happened was a reaction of an action that took place before them. But like I said, they are still investigating. I don't want to...
I understand. We appreciate your time so far, sir.
Of the investigation. That is why...
Thank
but
you so much.
I can assure you, it has nothing to do with cultism.
Thank you so much. We'll definitely bring you back when we have punitive measures that have been carried out concerning this. And when the investigations have been concluded, we've been speaking with the Deputy Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Roland Asoro. Osadebare. Thank you for helping me with that. Who also doubles as the chairman, Edo State House Committee on Education. Thank you for the update. One of the things that we wanted to discuss, why we wanted to discuss this is because we wanted to speak against bullying in schools. And we wanted to, and I know many people are on holiday now, we wanted them to know that people are watching and you'll be penalized if you're found to do this. And teachers, administrators, everybody, all our hands should be on deck to ensure that we never see this again happen to any students across any school in Nigeria. Thank you for your time. We'll take a quick break. When we return, another hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria, on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music.
Thanks for staying with us. Still your view on TVC. Resident doctor strike bites a bit harder. More suffering and excruciating pain for helpless patients, relatives groaning and lamenting. Meanwhile, our president is in faraway England, receiving the best healthcare with our taxpayers' money, if I do say so myself. Where is the place of empathy and selflessness in governance? We also saw an alleged picture of a Nigerian soldier receiving treatment in an appalling manner. Everything just seems demoralizing, and we would like to hear your thoughts on this. Join the conversation by calling us on 0812-705-3687, or you can call us on 091-390-76948. The numbers displayed on the screen. So the news carried it right from Monday this week. All the doctors had gone on strike. And the resulting effect of that is that patients in the hospital no longer getting adequate health care treatment. People now have to resort to private hospitals for those who can afford it. And there are cases where emergency treatments are only available in general hospitals without payment. If you go to a private hospital, it is a business, and they would expect you to pay. Nima, how do you feel knowing that our president isn't in Nigeria at the moment, and obviously it's a routine, as part of the activities he's carrying out in the UK, there's a routine health check added to it. And I've always said it, our president looked really, really frail before he became the president of this country. And we see a healthier president right now, which meant that Nigeria has been very good to our president in terms of his health. But what would you say concerning the treatment of Nigeria's health sector to Nigerians in Nigeria?
So let it not seem like we're just, ranting again, because there's no how you don't sound like having a rant when you talk about this. But the truth is, it's not President Buhari alone. Everybody that is member of the Grand Council, what's called that council of ex-presidents and heads of states and speakers and Senate presidents, are responsible for where we are today.
Yes.
So they all have their medical doctors abroad, all of them, plus members of cabinet, plus the most nicest, even friends of ours, have some of their medical doctors abroad. They consult abroad to double-check diagnosis made in Nigeria because, they have consultants abroad. So it's not news that the president, he didn't just become president and suddenly have his medical checks abroad. It was a total deliberate neglect of years of our health sector that got us here. It didn't happen overnight. So what for me is heartbreaking is that I campaigned for President Muhammadu Buhari, first term, second term. I believed that, the sort of consciousness, the kind of conscience I want for a leader, that he had it. I expected that things like, negotiating with Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors and making promises will be something that will bother him if he hears it again in the news the first time. they have reached agreement with them. Second time, Minister for Labour is appealing. Third time, Minister for State of Health is appealing to the doctors. Please, what do they want? Give them. Is not rocket science to do a scale of preference and move these important issues under a pandemic to the most highest of priorities? And those small issues like wardrobe allowance, extra codes for travel can be converted to meet their needs. That's what I expect of a president that I campaigned for, someone I believed in. I believe deliberately, sincerely, that he had the conscience to change things. I want a leader who has empathy, someone who has someone whose words, when he feels that his promise, would have sleepless nights. So I felt that that's the kind of president that I have. But every time I hear ASU and the National Association of Resident Doctors issue come up again, or any issues of labor, I really don't have a case for NLC, but these groups of people, I wonder what thing they happen. What is it? Whatever we do every year, when you sit at your FEC meeting, don't you have a scale of preference of what is most important, what is most closest to the poor and largest number of people? Because now that they're on strike, you have people who, for no fault of theirs, are waiting on a surgery list. And a former colleague of ours is on the list as well now. In the private hospital, his surgery will cost almost 2 million. And he's looking to a general hospital, but there are no doctors now. Obviously. So people who have that large number of Nigerians under a pandemic who would need to go to see a doctor, and now be saying doctors are on strike, they could and find alternative. People going to the hospitals and their family members having to withdraw them, knowing that they can't afford the private hospital, taking them home and looking for alternative medicine that can worsen their condition. How do you sleep? Really sad. Thinking about this, I don't know.
Mariam, tell you the truth, when I heard that we're talking about resident doctor strike and the effect on people, I'm like, we're just going to lament as usual and nothing will be done as usual. We just wait. It's like there's a game now where the resident doctors threaten. When it looks like the strike is going on for too long, government will now show like they're about to do something. They sit them down, they call them for meetings, they promise them. So the promises will take them so far, and then they come out again and there's strike. The thing is, there's nothing that we will say today that we haven't said before. There are no solutions that people will proffer that haven't been proffered. There's nothing new under the sun concerning healthcare in Nigeria. The only thing is that we hope that we are praying for people that have the political will to do the right thing. That's all. What are these people asking for? Do you understand? What are they fighting for? Better conditions of work. That's what they're asking. They're asking for you to look at their salaries and pay them commensurate to what they work. We see them now.
They listed specific states. Yes. They said that there are poor condition of their members of resident doctors in Abia State, in Imo State, in Ondo State, and in Ado Ekiti specifically. They expressed the regret that doctors in these states have been owed salary for 19, 7, 4 and 2 months respectively.
Yeah, so when you have those conditions, I mean, so what they're not asking for anything outside what is due them. They're not asking for you to give them what, we have just traveled abroad and we see people are being paid this, so give us as much as that. That's not what they're asking. They're saying what the federal government and Labour has decided is their salary. Pay it to us. You know, honestly, to God, I have nothing else to add to this lamentation because that's what it is.
So, let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with this conversation and would really love to hear from you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
But really, how is that my fault now? You're playing game and I'm playing along with you.
You have a very bad timing. Oh, when to bring and when not to bring it. Oh, but salary it here. Oh, to one demand the one your way. What kind of husband does that?
Ọlọ́run má jẹ́, ọkùnrin lèmi, má mi. No. Olóyè kó bẹ̀ mí, olóyè kó wà submissive. tí kan bá ṣẹlẹ̀ òun lẹ kó kúnlẹ̀ kó bẹ ọkọ ẹ̀.
tó bá ti gbèrò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ nìkan bá mi.
kò sówó lọ́wọ́ tí o kí ló fowó ṣe.
just imagine ìwọ fúnra ara ẹ lójú tiẹ̀ nínú aṣọ ẹbí tí wọ́n fẹ́ kówó rà àti business tọkọ tí ẹ fẹ́ fowó ṣe èwo lórí sí.
kẹ́mi dúró kí dúró kó máa fojú mi rí rẹ́dẹ̀rẹ́dẹ́ kí máa wò ṣe àtòrí burúkú tẹ́tọ́ ń ṣe tẹ́tọ́ ń kí sára yín láàrin títì.
lọ́n fún mi kádàrá aláwọ̀ àkàkàjù. àwọn kan wà tí wọ́n bá kú tọ́jọ́ ọkú wọn ò tí ì pé wọ́n á papòdà síbòmíì.
Is that how you gonna say it?
ọkọ tí wàá sọ nìyẹn.
bó ṣe wá kọ̀wé ránṣẹ́ yìí pé òun fẹ́ rí mi kájọ fojúkojú yìí kò yé èmi o.
bó ṣe pé ẹ̀rí ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ àyà mi ti sọ kí.
torí kí ni.
àkọyẹ kọ́ mọ píjẹ́rẹ́ ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ yọmọ mú yẹn rí flashback jọ́ ìkéyọ̀ mọ́ tó mọ́ ẹgbọ́n mọ́.
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup check. Are the scripts on the prompter? Script check. Are we set in the PCR? All team in place? PCR check.
Clock is ticking, time is racing, lights are. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready for the mission.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get an in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it.
Thanks for staying with us. We've been discussing the resident doctor strike, which is indefinite, started on the 2nd of August, and they had their reasons. We'd mentioned a bit of their reasons, but I wanted to just highlight specifically the cases of, they've spoken about unfair treatment or lack of proper remuneration, but in these particular 4 states, I wanted to highlight the fact that they've said that their resident doctors in these states have been owed salaries for as much as 19 months. So, what kind of governor would run an administration that will owe doctors for months, like over a year?
Government.
No. What sort of, these are states. The states, Abia State apparently, if you are in Abia, if you're a doctor, please would like you to call, because I'm quoting Guardian newspaper for this story. And I would like anybody that is a resident doctor in Abia to call and tell us the true state of affairs in terms of payments. They also said that Ado Ekiti, doctors are being owed for 2 months. Then we have Ondo State being owed for 4 months. And then we have Imo State being owed for 7 months. So we want people that are in these states to verify if in reality, how do you expect You know, like the lives of people are in the hands of doctors. Why would you do that? Like, I even would want if the governor wants to call you, please feel free to call and explain. Why would the governor do that? Maybe people would understand. Maybe there's a reason for this that we can understand. But I think that Mariam and Nima are tired of taking these stories. I share the same sentiment, but I just feel like we can't stop talking about it because Nigerians are suffering. I gave birth to my kids, all my kids, in the general hospital. Imagine if I was about to have my child and they were on strike. What would have happened to me? And many others, that's their only option. I'll take Peace phone call and hear from Nima, who I also know is a customer of General Hospital. Peace, good morning. Good to hear from you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're calling all the way from Jaws.
Yes.
Good to hear from you.
Thank you. The issue on board now, actually, I'm even disappointed at what Mariam was saying, because how can you campaign for somebody 2015, the person you still campaign for same person 2019, and you are saying you are a true Nigerian? No, some of us are causing our problem. Imagine when this man came into power, some things were working at least. Dollar was 116, I could remember, I bought that 160. Now.
Okay, so people would always point fingers, but Nima is a Nigerian and she's entitled to choose who she wants to campaign for. And the fact that she has owned it means that she understands that maybe I made a mistake in this judgment. But Nima, you are also, I know you had at least you had your baby. Your current baby, I won't say your last baby.
It's not my last baby.
You had your current baby in a general hospital,
yes.
And you always speak for the people in mother and child in Amuwo Dolphin over and over again about the treatment you got. I think you were there for months.
Yes.
How do you feel now knowing other people that had your condition don't have access to that quality of care and probably cannot afford a good private hospital, will not have access to quality care?
Let me say that I'm just grateful that I know the doctors in that hospital would still take care of emergency cases. They do that. Even the other time they had a strike, they had to resort to coming to work outside the strike to help some cases. So I know that they do bend over a lot of times to assist people. But I think it is wrong because I go to the hospital. I still went to Mother and Child last Wednesday. I might likely be there this Friday. Because I usually would register neighbors who are pregnant now. I advocate that they go to the hospital for the best care that I got. So I usually go there. I have friends there. I see how overworked they are. They're on duty. They're standing for hours. I interact with them. If I were minister for health, my priority for them would be high because I have seen them. So for me, it's more heartbreaking when you know that the minister for health was a doctor. How quick do you forget what you have been through when you are... is it that it's just...
No, or maybe at the time you went through it, government was better and they treated doctors better.
One of the doctors in the hospital, you know, I checked up on him on Wednesday and he was now on break for health reasons. I remember saying to him at the time when I was on bed rest that he was
going to fall ill.
There was an emergency and he kept going. I was in the prenatal ward. He kept going through that ward and the labor ward, a stair away. At some point, I saw him, he sat down, he was trying to catch his breath. I said, doctor, I don't want to call his name. You need to take care of yourself. He said, no, it's the work. Once I'm done with this particular one, this last one now, I'll just go and find somewhere to crash and sleep and recover. But he didn't do that because before he was done with that one, they wheeled in another emergency. Yeah. And he was on call.
And now he's on medical. So let's take a call from Prophet Kehinde. He's calling all the way from Ajegule. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I'm very happy for the good work you people are doing.
Thank you.
I've been trying... Hello?
Yes, we're listening.
I've been trying to get reach to you for a long time. I'm in fans of your view. I really recommend Lima for her good work in the society, for my two in the area. Because I live in Ajegule, I experience all what he has been experiencing in my two area. And it's unfortunate that Morayo is not on seat today. You see, what I want to talk about this our lovely country is we love the country, but our so-called president and our so-called authority, they don't love the country the way we love the country. No. I felt so bad this time. I see things wrongly like this. Imagine it's a very simple thing for our president to know. If really know what he's doing. We elected him. I personally campaigned for him. I elected him. We elected him. Now, did we do wrong for him to become our president?
Yeah.
I know you grew up with a mom who was in the hospital permanently.
So I will tell you the story. So it's not just doctors who have these complaints. Nurses, I even think they have it worse. I mean, and all the other medical personnel. Because, in fact, in the hierarchy of things, doctors even tend to get some of their demands responded to quickly. Because somehow the minister is a doctor and things like that. But that is not to say that, you know,
they don't have legitimate concerns.
Yeah, they do not have legitimate concerns. All of them, really, I feel that they have not been treated well. And, you know, where you are saying that they are overworked and sometimes they will even shop when they strike, that is very true. Because I remember with my mom, too, when they would go on strike, she would say, but that does not mean that we have to leave the place empty. We have some patients who are in critical condition that they need someone to be there. So even though we're not getting paid, even though we're not having our demands met, we understand how important these lives are, and we have to be there for them. You know, and you expect that when people give their all like that, they give everything.
The government would appreciate.
They have children at home. You know, they are paying fees, they are paying rent, they have responsibilities. And then, you know, when we talk about the person of the president, you would expect that for someone who has health issues, he will be much more in tune with the issues concerning health. He will be much more appreciative of having good quality health
accessible to everybody,
to him and everyone. So it doesn't make sense to me.
It really doesn't. We have someone calling from Ondo State. Temi, welcome to the show. Good morning. Femi, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
How has your experience been? Have you been to the hospital since the strike started?
Yes, the issue is that this issue of no payment of salary to doctors is a really sad development. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, it's unfortunate. We don't know why it is like that. Not even with the pandemic that is ravaging the whole continent. One would have thought that doctors will be given special treatment, especially for those who decide to stay behind and take care first. A lot of the doctors are not in this country, they are abroad, for where they are valued, for where they are respected. But in Nigeria here, the value is the case. The president campaign, he said he would not be going abroad for treatment for anything.
That's his campaign.
A lot of things, we have to protect him. But as we speak now, it's the UK taking treatment. Everybody. You see, they don't have their children in Nigeria here. They have their children school abroad. They take their medical treatment abroad, everything abroad. So they abandon us here. It's really sad. Even there was a place where they were saying that there's no difference between medical doctor and admin officer in the ministry. Is that not funny? How do you compare medical doctor with ordinary worker in the ministry? Why is it sad development? We just pray that our governors, president, everybody, try to value.
It wasn't so clear, but I was saying that somebody was comparing doctors with other workers in the ministry, and they are not comparable because one person one person's presence can cost a lot of lives to be saved, and absence can cost a lot of lives to be lost. And we mustn't compare. Everybody is important, everybody's job is important, and their requests should be treated accordingly. But this case of doctors shouldn't be treated with levity at all.
Even the frequently, the frequency of their strike that is annoying.
It's worrisome.
So every time they come and you promise them something,
you pacify them.
Exactly how sincere are you? Are you as concerned about them as about the issues that they're bringing before you? But we have to sorry, tubes. Maureen Kemafe says, we keep going round and round the circle. Yeah. And that we're still discussing doctors' welfare in 2021 is tiring, not to mention shameful.
2021 August. We're almost in 2022.
Good B says, this government and subsequent governments won't fix Nigeria fast. It's a slow, painful process.
Let's take a quick break. It's a process towards fixing it. We understand this is where we're headed. But it's a process towards not doing anything.
We're stuck on the negotiating table, and it just seems we can't go forward, we can't go backwards. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll still love to hear from doctors. Like, I would love to hear from doctors and medical workers who feel that this strike is justifiable, to tell us why they think they should go on strike and make Nigerians understand what their plight is. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered.
Thanks for staying with us. We have a phone call from Imadi calling us from Calabar, Cross River State. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, yes, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Imadi. Can I make my view?
Yes, please go ahead. You're live.
All right. Thank you. I am a medical doctor. I practice at the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital.
Okay. Go on, sir.
Go on, sir. We're waiting to hear from you.
All right. Actually, when I was a medical student, I used to think that in many cases, students or the government had a point. But having been a doctor for a while, I see it from another view. It's practical insensitivity from the government. Who makes the government? Me, you. We make the government. And I see patients go through hell. They can't afford anything. Even if they can afford something, there is nothing in the hospitals. You can't even do anything to help patients. The hospital facilities are gone. Just minor investigations, full blood count, electrolyte urea creatinine, liver function test. You need to send patients out of the hospital facility to private investment.
Is the government owing you salary? Is the government owing you salary?
The government knows they are owing salary. It's a continuum.
Yeah.
This thing is not just when you look at the NERD strike and you just think it's about salary, that's not being fair.
That's true.
It's more than salaries. It's the resident doctor saying, give us something to work with and pay us. Paying us is, yes, important. A laborer is deserving of his wages.
Yep.
But apart from the salaries, are we going to, if the president travels abroad and is going for investigations or going for tests and going for proper medical checkup, are they going to just look at him? They're not being paid there alone. There are things put on ground for doctors to work with. The health sector is really in a terrible mess. We should just stop thinking it's just salary. Apart from salaries, there are other congent issues that have not been addressed.
Yeah.
pungent issues that are eating
one of such issues, sir, was the life insurance for those doctors who were assisting on the front lines against the pandemic. Can you confirm, do you have an experience with one or two families of such doctors who have received the life insurance money?
Did you hear the question, Dr. Imade? Are you still there?
Oh, sorry.
I think we lost him, but we need to appeal. Honestly, we need to hear from doctors. If you are a doctor, you're watching this show, call us. We'll give preference to your phone calls because we really, really would love to hear from you. And we know that a lot of our leaders watch our show. And maybe if they hear directly, not through a spokesperson or the chairman of the NARD, maybe they would connect better. But we need them, we need you to speak to us. And Nigerians want to understand, because some Nigerians are sitting at home and saying, these doctors said, let them just rest now. And they should feel for us too. Maybe when you speak, they would understand why and how it is pinching and why you are on strike. So we'll be waiting to hear from doctors. Do we have messages on?
We do. We have tubes. There was one that was just reloaded. I wanted to take about someone at the hospital now. So according to him, he said that he is due for an extra tooth or tooth removal. And the cost at the government hospital was about 11,500. But the private hospital is about 50,000 naira.
Which he can't afford.
Which he can't afford. And, you know, he's begging that they look into the doctor's strike. Andrew says it's not only funding, numbers and expertise. It must be done by them alone. It's not their job, I think.
Yes, but we'll take this call. Richard from Port Harcourt, then we'll come back to the numbers because we're losing a lot of, not losing as per life, but losing doctors. As per they are moving. And we need to talk about the the way they are brain drain. Thank you. Good morning, Richard. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yes, hello, good morning, ladies.
Yes, you're live. We'd like to hear from you. Are you a doctor?
All right, thank you very much. This is a very important discussion you're having. You see, it's really appalling that in the 24th century Nigeria, we are still talking about doctor's salary. See, as for me, anything the doctors, or in fact, not just the doctors, like Miriam said, those in the medical space, both the nurses, the lab attendants, the pharmacists, all the people in the medical subsector, they should get whatever it is that they are requesting for. I have been in the labor room when my wife was about to deliver. I was there. I saw at every point, from one doctor to the nurse, to the pediatrician, to all of them, I was there, so I was there firsthand, experienced the very important work these people are doing, and I got to even appreciate them the more. So please, I am begging, they should give these people the equipment, the right equipment to work with, and even if they are asking for whatever their counterparts abroad are asking for, they should get it. They deserve it.
You know what is sad? I mean, can you imagine Nigerians are begging governments to give us good health care,
and all of them travel abroad when they sneeze. They go and confirm if the sneeze is actually catarrh.
If they were going on strikes, would they have places to go to?
Exactly.
If those people were not being paid, would they have places to go to? And this is a country where I heard that, you know, many years ago, people would come from different countries to come to places like UI, you know, the teaching hospitals there. And then here we are today, and most of them were alive and enjoyed the, you know, how good it was then. So you understood what it was. And you know, and it has deteriorated and has found you here, and there's nothing that we can do about it. So now we're talking about the resultant effect of this. So a lot of us are talking about the patients, right? How the patients are affected, and that's the truth. Many people would, as they say, unavoidable deaths, a lot of money to be spent. You have to get a lot more money to spend towards treatment. But also the doctors. My mom, I remember when she worked as, you know, how much was she earning? Very small amount of money. 3 children in school. Sometimes no salary, she had to wait on salary. And you know how women, so she's doing different sorts of, you know, contributions with each other so that they can raise money to pay fees. So these doctors are paying fees, they are paying rent.
Yes.
These doctors will be at home now.
That is expensive and
a head teacher will send their child home because they have not paid fees. And now they are home, or a landlord is calling and harassing a family now because they cannot pay fees. And the question will be, and you're a doctor, you know, you're a doctor, you should be able to afford these things. Exactly. It's not right.
Let's take Felix from Apapa. How has your experience been, Felix? Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead, you're live.
Yeah, the fact still remains that we are lacking a lot of things in this country. My brother happens to be a medical doctor in Finland. Yeah.
Of countries that work.
Yes, my brother happens to be a medical doctor in Finland. And I know how there's a time I was invited, they gave me an invitation over there, and I got there, and I know, you understand. So, here down in Nigeria, the country of our dreams, things are not working.
So
it's really sad.
Even more saddening for me is the fact that the video or the picture of the military soldiers
and how they are getting treated.
An ex-officer's son, an ex-army officer's son was discussing with me, and he said, that is the trench, that they're in the trenches, they're so probably having to improvise, that I should not fly with the story. But then I wonder, you know, yes, they have to, you know, improvise in the trenches, but what is the state of our military hospitals today? The 68, the military hospital Yaba, you know, the MIRs in the military barracks across the country. What is the state of those? The president being an ex-officer, you know, what exactly are the deliberate things? I would like the commissioner for the Minister for Information to show us videos since they are doing promotions of the achievements of this government. Show us, let's see what the state of the hospitals are, and let's know what the doctors are being paid, you know. If this one is in the trench, because
trenches
are, you know, they should be able, we should have a high quality, you know, means of transport to move them from the trench in such an instance out of the trench. They don't have to treat bullet wounds on tree branches. They can be taken out, you know, and treated.
So we have Gabriel on the line calling from the UK, who is a nurse. Okay. So Gabriel, welcome to the show. I'm sure you were trained in Nigeria.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, Gabriel. You're live.
Okay. How are you?
Fine, well, good, thank you. Oh, you're a first-time caller. Welcome to the show. So we want to know, were you trained in Nigeria? Are you one of those that went for greener, looking for greener pastures?
I've practiced in Nigeria before I moved to UK.
Okay.
And then, you see the problem with our health system? The problem with our health system is if the people ruling us cannot use our hospitals, then we don't have hospitals. Do you see people coming from UK to come for treatment in Nigeria? No.
What are they called?
But if your rulers cannot use your hospital, go outside. That means they don't care what you pass through, and they don't care whether your hospitals are up to date or not. Imagine what the doctors are fighting for is what all the medical personnel are fighting for. Not only the salary, but when you are, like when I did my training in Lutz, those periods, there was everything in the hospital. Everything. As a patient, you don't need to buy anything. But now, if they want to give you common injection or
you have to go and buy the syringe.
You have to go and buy cotton wool, buy spirit. Okay, if you don't have money, what happens? So a lot of people will have died. So until our rulers are patronizing Nigerian hospitals, there will be no improvement. You know, these people don't know what is going on. When they are sick, they go abroad. Their family is abroad. How come your family cannot live where you are ruling?
That's really, really bad.
A country for your family and living in that country.
You know, thank you so much, Gabriel. We went back to I wanted to go back to the labor room because I remember the caller that called and said, oh, I was in the hospital. I saw how it is in labor. And I've shared the story years back earlier on the show, how I gave birth in Bagada General Hospital, and it was a makeshift. You know, the labor ward was full. The delivery room was full. I ended up giving birth to my twins at a passage, like a passage with a makeshift cover, and I was ready. I had my twins naturally, natural birth, and I was ready to push. Like I was so. Anybody that's giving birth, you will know that's the way you are. Like you are going. I was screaming, and the doctor did not come. Like I was ready, and the doctor, I was like saying, I started shouting, "Doctor, I am ready, oh!" when he came out, I felt like tearing his clothes. And he was saying that, do I know what he was doing? That he was just stitching up another patient, that is the only doctor on duty. You know, so at that moment, even in my intense pain, I could understand that this man was not, he didn't abandon me, you know, because he had come check me, he knew I was ready, he was going to come and meet me. Then a woman came in that was virtually about to give birth. He was saying, hold it, the woman could not, the man just gave birth. So he had to go there and start stitching and me, I was waiting, ready to push the living.
You saw birth to lie down. It becomes an emergency.
You know, so these are the kind of realities in the general hospital. How many of our politicians have been to, have used a general hospital facility in the past 10 years? Then they should come and face me.
No, they have used it, but they have become leaders and they have forgotten.
No, they've become big men.
Yeah, they've become big men. So they have
so you're no longer in touch with that reality.
Yeah.
So it's not your reality anymore.
But you know, Gabriel said something. It reminded me of when the lockdown was at this height and everyone had to be shut down and they could not travel and they had to use what was on ground. I don't know if there's something we need to do internationally where if you do not have a working hospital in your country, if you cannot use it, there are some things, maybe except for really specialized cases, we will not allow you to come and use our hospital.
Exactly.
Maybe internationally, we need to start helping African countries.
What's wrong with our National Assembly? Pass a law.
It becomes a law. They are the ones that
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's a private citizen to propose the bill.
Let's take
Zainab.
Zainab is calling from Lagos Island. I hear that you are not a doctor, but you have a doctor in the family. How are you doing? And how is the doctor doing? Zainab, you're live.
Hello.
Zainab, you're live. Please listen to me. Don't listen to the TV.
All right. I'm Zainab calling from Lagos Island.
All right. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Yay!
Yeah. Actually, my contribution is that I'm not really a doctor, but I'm related to a doctor. I have friends, I have family, cousins that are doctors, nurses, but they don't take care of them. They are not well paid. As well, I'm related to the uniform personnel. Look at the soldiers, the issue of soldiers. These people have been posting the video or pictures. This is not supposed to be. It's not done. What?
We missed Zainab's call, but Mariam, and you know, we've discussed this thing. We've said that the starting point is if every political office holders have no other option. As long as there's option, you check out. When you have no other option, you make where you are work. So how do we get our current crop of legislators to make a law that will not favor them? Because really, the average, I am yet to see a 7 House of Assembly member that would push this law. No. It would blow everybody's minds if we have one that will push this law. So how can we canvass for this? Maybe Sarah, maybe all these are pressure groups can create this bill and get enough signature. I don't know the legal, what's the legal framework?
They just need to create it, propose it to the House.
Propose the bill, and is there a way Nigerians can now say we've gotten 1 million Nigerians to support this bill, and all of us are saying
sign a petition,
except it's a life and death situation, you get your treatment in Nigeria.
If a private individual, an EFEC member, anybody proposes a bill, the House starts to look into the bill. Somebody moves the motion, maybe your constituency representative moves the motion with that bill coming from you as his constituency, wherever he is representing. And then they start to talk about it, debate it. First reading, second reading is done. And we have a bill, we have a law.
Okay.
But when it gets to that, you are still knocking at the door of the person you're trying to use to get your bill in. You know, so
let's use the power of social media. Let me quickly take Adekule. Yes. Adekule, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And how are you?
Very well, thank you. How has your experience been? Do you have anyone who's been to the General Hospital since the strike, and what has been reported?
Well, it's very pathetic. First of all, I'm a first-time caller on your program.
Welcome to the show.
It's a program I don't miss on a daily basis.
Oh, we're happy to have you finally calling.
Somebody has said it somewhere that we should have a decree that will pin our politicians down to attend public hospitals here. And until that is done, we'll just be dancing around in circles. because they have the facilities to fly out to wherever they want to go and treat themselves. And all our hospitals here are in shambles. Even teaching hospitals, they're in shambles. It's unfortunate. Our government needs to wake up. Medical is not something anybody can toy with. And that's the honest truth. But at the local government level, the state, even at the federal level, it's sad that our head of state or our president will have headache. And the next is the NEF01 is planning to take him to US or UK for treatment. It's sad. Nigeria
UK is closer.
Come beyond.
Thank you for your conversation with this. We sound like a broken record concerning all of them getting treatment in Nigeria. Like over and over again, we say it, but we will not stop, you know, because as long as they don't hear us, we'll continue to speak. We'll take a quick break. When we return, really want to hear from doctors and those who use the hospital in the past few days. What has your experience been? If you have a loved one you've had to take out of the hospital, share your story with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Is the makeup in progress? Makeup check. Are the scripts on the prompter? Script check. Are we set in the PCR? All team in place? PCR check. Clock is ticking, time is racing, lights are. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready for the mission.
Welcome back to the show. We have Ruben calling from Abia State. What has your experience been so far?
Okay, good morning,
Good morning.
everyone. Yeah, the whole thing.
Go on. Ruben, you're live.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm a first caller, though.
Welcome to the show.
Okay. So the whole thing, I have up to 6 medical doctors in my immediate family. In fact, I'm the only person that is not a doctor there. So I have the ones living abroad, and I think 2 in Nigeria here. But the thing is this. The only thing that can help us in this Nigeria are laws that will make these our politicians to stick in this country. Most times you hear them that they are patriotic. I don't think so. They are not. Anybody that wins election now, the children will immediately travel abroad and live there. And they will stay with us here. And if they have health issues too, they will live abroad. So when we are talking about, it's not even only education, but their children are abroad schooling. So these people, they are not patriotic. How
really sad. Really sad. Ruben, Nima got a forwarded message. I would like you to share the highlights of that.
I'm even careful to not read
to mention the
but
name.
somebody was on admission at Lassus. He was due for a surgery to help clear a blocked intestine. The plan was to do his surgery on Tuesday, but the strike started on Friday. And he died 30 minutes after getting home because they had to take him back home to wait out the strike.
According to this
person's report, yes. So.
And so at the end of the day, the reason we seem to be lamenting about this for the past 30 minutes is because we're grateful for our lives that probably we can get to afford a private hospital, but the average Nigerian can't afford a private hospital, and the average Nigerian is left to get help from public hospitals that are now on strike. And our leaders need to understand the impact of this on the lives of the citizens that they are representing. Like the money, I focus on politicians, they tell me that this money, I made money, more money in the private sector before I became a government official. We don't need those kind of statements. I love what Pastor Tunde Bakari said. He said, I won't die for Nigeria. He said, I will live to see Nigeria succeed. You know, I hear politicians say, I won't die for Nigeria, but from this sense of, I cannot come and kill myself for this country, but I don't want you to kill yourself for Nigeria. We want you to live, you know, but we want you to live and see Nigeria succeed because you have the power to. Let's take Emmanuel's call from Agbara. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning, Emmanuel.
Yeah, first-time caller.
Welcome. Oh, wow, we're having lots of first-time callers today. This topic is really getting to. How has your experience been?
Actually, first of all, I would like to appreciate you guys for a wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The last 3 months or so, so I was at home when one of my neighbors, he works at Nestle in Agbara. So the wife just gave birth. So we had to rush. There was complication after 2 days or so. So we had to rush them, both the wife and the daughter, to General Hospital. But on getting there, nothing was working at all. We met the nurses and they just left the baby and they were doing other things. So we had to I think one of the workers there came to meet us that we should just try and take this. They just advised us to take the baby to another hospital, a private hospital. So that was how the baby was revived. But that being said, I would like us. You see, the best way to handle the issue is to tackle it from the roots. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, we're with you.
Yeah. So the issue is Nigeria is in shambles. Nothing is working in this country. Aside from the health sector, all sectors, nothing is working. And there's an impression that has to be corrected. These politicians, our leaders, our so-called leaders, they are just too selfish. Yeah, from my own view, they are always selfish. And
thank you for your contributions, Emmanuel. Do we have any tunes?
This message I got, for me, breaks my heart in the sense that this person was already on admission. So, like I mentioned earlier, that I've seen the doctors in the mother and child do this for patients that are on admission and bend over for some emergency cases. Why is the person scheduled for surgery, not treated? This is the case you already had before you, file and everything, and even you already booked for surgery. Why does a strike have to make that person? You can refuse to take new people, but the person that you already have on ground, at least do something rather than send that person back home, knowing he might just have to go and start all over again.
So Nima, you know, one of the things they are asking for is better facilities. That's one of the major issues doctors are asking for. I have taken my son, when he was younger, he used to have like respiratory issues that he would need to get on a
ventilator.
Is it ventilator or there's this stuff that helps them to breathe? Nebulizer. They needed to nebulize him. So when we would rush to the hospital, and I would rather go to Lassus because I feel like I'll have consultant doctors there and all of that. And even with the fact that I'm on the show and I feel like I can call, I knew the HOD, I'll make phone calls, you can get to the hospital and they only have 3 functioning nebulizers in a full teaching hospital where you have so many children. So it's a case of first come, first serve. They use nebulizer for you, they'll not carry it to meet another person. Do you know that in between that time when one has to wait, things happen? There was a premature baby that was rushed into that hospital that day. Like, I've never seen a baby that tiny in my life. And I saw the mother looking like, mosquito is biting my baby here. Let's that they say is only here we can get a incubator. And the hospital said all our incubators are occupied. Take your child to Island Maternity. Do you know how far Island is from Lassus? And this was not at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. This was around like 12 o'clock. And that baby was premature, that baby was wrapped in plenty clothes to keep the baby warm. This is what Nigerians are facing. And this is what the doctors are facing. And this is why they just feel like you're not helping us. BC has called for more. I'll come to you after BC's phone call. BC, good morning. Welcome to the show. BC, you're live. We can hear you. Lucy.
Hello?
Sorry, Lucy, you are live. We can hear you. I'm missing BC.
Hello?
Good morning. Lucy, we can hear you.
Good morning. Good morning. I just want to contribute to the program that is going on now about this health sector. You don't expect anybody to work without tools. If you go to the central hospitals, you discover that the patients are dead, the doctors are perplexed. They are perplexed because there are no equipment. They don't have equipment to work with. And this referral thing, it's because they don't have equipment that they refer people to other clinics and hospitals. If the laws can be, we cannot laws that will not make our politicians to go out. Because they have access in going out. That is why they neglect what they are neglecting all sectors, not even only the medical sector.
Yeah.
The educational sector is down. All sectors are down, yet they feel good by traveling abroad. Their essence of being there is not for the masses. Nope. The essence of being there is for their pockets. They want to liberate their pockets and become big men on top of the people that are voted.
Thank you so much, Lucy. I think that, Nima, if you and I share sort of like partial affinity for the former governor of Lagos State. And I remember while I was in the hospital that the doctors would say that the former governor of Lagos State, as that used to do unplanned for visits to the hospitals. Yes. Like there was this attitude that he can just come in. So like last week we heard he went to clinical maternity and he just showed up. The reason I'm referring to maternity is because the only thing that takes me to the hospital is usually maternity and children. So that's why those are the ones I know.
It was under his
watch the
General Hospital in Badagry picked up, and there was one uninformed, unexpected visit that changed things in that hospital. So what he wanted to uncover was, personnel lapsing on their job. And that is a major problem in itself. We know that most of these hospitals, because of my experience, when you mentioned the mosquito biting my baby, some things are not even about the leaders. It is about hospital management.
Within the hospital.
We had a period of time with the hospital windows were not working at the time. And we had a period, when I came in, the chief medical director at that time made sure that there was no time, there was no diesel, there was no time the AC was not on. So I never knew we had mosquitoes because I had this thick blanket. And I always, but the first time he moved, he was transferred somewhere else.
Just by change of
batting, my eye clear. Because for that first one, I kept saying, do I need to get malaria in pregnancy? Is that the best option you can give?
Solomon from
so
Bega,
those are some of the realities.
Mariam. Solomon, welcome to the show.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
You're live.
I am a first-time caller.
Wow. Welcome to the show.
Yes. It's been like looking for a needle in a haystack to get you. Thank God I got you.
We're happy you got it.
Yes. Let me comment on this, our health issue. The truth is this. This is my opinion. Right from 1960 up till today, no government, whether military or civilian, has done good for hapless Nigerians when it comes to the health sector. And so we've had years of total neglect of that sector, as important as it is. After all, human beings are supposed to be alive to make things work. Right. We've overflowed this issue of our leaders going out for treatment and all that.
Yes.
We are tired of hearing it. The thing I would say is this. Somebody said earlier that until there is a law or whatever it is to make it compulsory for our rulers, we don't have leaders, so trust me. Across the board, what we have are rulers. Not to be in a position to go out there for any kind of treatment, whether headache or hernia, then they will be compelled to improve the sector. What my sister said here, the one in pink, I felt with her when she was talking about how she supported Buhari. One would have thought that for a man like that who came into power, and we all witnessed his health issues at the beginning, you would have thought that he would sit down and say, you know what, and go to do something
Will
about it.
never happen again, yeah.
Thank you so much, Solomon. We
Yeah.
were all expecting that as well.
You know, another thing that really makes me sad about all this that's happening is the fact that we don't get to enjoy all that can come from a working healthcare system. You hear in other countries how they've come up with new treatments, new machines,
technology.
new information. Their children are learning things because they already have the basic, so are able to do much more. We see people here who come and tell us about different things that they are bringing into Nigeria because those people there have enough to even work to develop something. Remember when we had the person who came here to talk to us about the modular health places where you can move it from one place to the other. It was not developed here. They are busy on strike fighting for just basic salary. We had someone here yesterday who showed talk to us about a machine that you can treat fibroid without having to go under the knife. That was someone who sat down, a group of people who sat down, and they had the time to do the research, and there was funds pushed towards that place. There's so much that we lose. It's not only about just paying doctors and seeing patients. There's just so much more that we lose that will affect generations to come because we are not doing the right thing today.
We can also do generational things. So we can have your endowments, your own charity, memorial charity done to take care of a condition that, you know, you suffered, that you don't want another person to suffer. Just like we read from the kidnap story you read in the papers, a woman whose child was beheaded, thought to save somebody else's child. So whatever you have suffered, it must not be saved to everybody.
That was what we expected from the president.
Try to do more as much as you can. Let's have endowments, educational endowments to support development in areas. All these are our big names that we have. Can we have a research into how to generate our own vaccine?
Let's not kill the big names that we have. Let the government do what they can.
We're not killing them.
But I appreciate that they can
today you know, we call them out.
As fans of the big,
we ask them, for people that make that sort of money, we say, can you put your money so? But today we're calling out the government because we're not even doing the basic.
No, we're just suggesting.
So let me take the final call for today. Tokumbo, welcome to the show. Good morning, Tokumbo. Are you there? Hello, Tokumbo. Are you there? Oh, I think that we couldn't take... I don't think Tokumbo is there. We're out of time. Final comments?
So I just quickly want to beg us patients to be empathetic towards doctors when we visit. There was a case of a mother who did not understand that the doctor was doing everything possible for her, and she gave him a dirty slap while I was in the hospital. That, along with other things, are frustrating them. Also, if you are a chief medical director of any hospital, before you call out the ruler in the upper, because they say we don't have leaders, please lead properly and please be very transparent with your books. We see a lot of things happening. We see how they cover up when inspections are coming.
Yes, they arrange the place for inspections.
The things, machines that they bring it out and all of those things.
I just feel that there are some things that cannot shut down no matter what. And healthcare is one of them.
Yes.
So whatever we need to do, we must make sure that doctors are working. And whilst they are working, you can handle other things. But we cannot let healthcare shut down.
Very important.
Okay, we have Honorable Segido Sogo, who sponsored a bill to stop politicians actually from traveling abroad, and this bill has been stalled. He's right here with us, and we'd like to hear from you.
Very sure.
Hello, sir. We are live on the show. We have just a few more minutes, but we'd love to hear from you. This is something we already mentioned during the show. We would applaud anyone who pushes for this bill. So what has happened to your bill? Honorable? Hello, Honorable. Are you with us? Can you unmute yourself, Honorable?
I hear you.
No. I think he can hear us, but he's not. Can you unmute yourself, Honorable?
Hey.
Oh, it would have been really nice to hear from him. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, unmute yourself, please.
No.
He can hear me, but unfortunately he's unable to unmute, and maybe he can't hear me. I don't think he can hear me, because if he can, he would have been, would have communicated with us. But we're happy that somebody has pushed for this bill, and I wish we can just create more publicity for a bill, for such a bill, to see how we can pressure our leaders, our representatives who are actually representing us to do what we want.
So once you're a public office holder, you are not within the civil. you work within the civil service, the federal civil service particularly.
You yourself.
You are here.
You can release your family members, but
so
you
if
yourself.
you're a private person, you have your money, but you cannot be
part of government and people
we can't wait to implement that. We thank you, ladies, for ranting along with all the Nigerians. Thank you, all of you that called on the show. We got lots of phone calls today. This is a very, very sad, reoccurring story that we have to take over and over and over again. But until we see change, we will not stop. Until they hear us, we will not give up. We'll continue to hold our leaders accountable and demand quality healthcare, good treatment. We don't want it to be an unfortunate thing to be a Nigerian, but to be a thing of pride to be Nigerians. And we will not die for Nigeria. We will all live to see Nigeria work. Thanks for your time. See you all tomorrow. Bye.